Hello everyone, my name is Mohsin Mullah and I welcome you all to this another video lecture on electrical installation and estimation subject. Today in this lecture we are going to see a few points regarding types of electrical wiring systems. So this is only one section of the unit 6. So first we are going to deal with the first section of this unit 6, that is types of electrical wiring systems. Then we are going to see the second part of the same, which is about the different types of, you can say, wiring connections for the protection of different machines. So that we are going to see in another series of video lectures. So now this video lecture will be in two parts. In this first part I am going to explain up to only one type of you can say wiring system, and remaining will be covered in the second video lecture. Okay, so now we have to consider here, once we want to get the electricity to different appliances, then we have to make wiring for the different you can say appliances from the main electricity board, or you can say whatever distribution board we have where meter is also located. So from that place we have to connect it to various rooms and various appliances that would be available in various rooms, like fans will be available, lights will be available, number of sockets are required for different load connections like table fans, iron, and also mixer grinder or washing machine separate connection. So these all require complete wiring from the distribution board till the different locations of the house. So that process is called as electrical wiring. So technically electrical wiring is a process of connecting cables and wires to the related devices such as fuse, switches, sockets, lights, fans, etc. to the main distribution board in a specific structure for continuous power supply. So now basically there are two types of two methods in which the wiring can be done. Okay, the first method is the joint box system or T system, and the second method is loop-in system. So this is not the wiring system, but it is the method in which the wiring is usually done. So now let us say see the first type, that is joint box system or T system. So here joint box system or T or jointing system type of wiring method. So in that, what is actually done here, so there will be such type of joint boxes placed at different locations on the two lines that are to be connected. One is the phase line and second one is the neutral line. So at a specific location these are placed, and here three contacts will be available. So first contact is for the incoming line, then the second contact is for the continuation of that connection, then there is a third contact that can be tapped for the connection of a particular load through the switch. A particular load will be connected here. So say this phase wire is connected through this switch to the phase point of the load, then similarly the neutral wire is taken through another array. In that another this box is placed here, so from the middle terminal another wire is taken and it is connected to the neutral part. So likewise a number of such you can say devices can be connected by using this type of joint boxes. So you can observe here, so for each of the load connection we require two joint boxes. So depending upon the number of connections we will be having more number of such joint boxes. Okay, so now here technically in this method of wiring, connections to appliances are made through joints. These joints are made in joint boxes by means of suitable connectors or joint cutouts. This method of wiring doesn't consume too much cable size. Then there is loop-in or looping system. So here again we'll have to make connection for the different appliances through the switches. So for example here we have the two appliances, two lamps connected through two switches S1 and S2. So here what will happen, so first we need to take the phase connection. That phase connection will first come to the switch point. Okay, so now when it is connected, when the switch is closed, so that phase point is connected here, which is again connected to the phase point of the load. So directly supply will be turned on, and when it is opened, so that time supply will not be connected to that. Okay, so now here just observe for the from the same first switch point, okay, so phase point, so one tapping is taken and that will be taken continuously to the next switch S2. Okay, and from there again the tapping is taken and it will be continued for the if any other switch is to be connected here. So here what we see is, instead of taking the joints, here looping is done. Okay, so here first phase wire is taken up to here, again loop is formed here, and that is connected here, again loop is formed. Okay, so here there are no cut sections or no jointing of the cables, directly they are connected, tapped from the phase point of the switches. Okay, so and similarly the neutral, so now neutral needs to be connected to the each lamp or load neutral point. So here is the neutral point and here is the neutral point. So now first here neutral line will be taken and it will be taken to the first neutral point of the lamp 1. So from there itself it is converted into a loop, and then it is continuously taken to the next neutral point of the next lamp load, and from there onwards it will be continuously taken for the number of loads available. So this process will continue. So such loops are formed in the you can say entire wiring connections. Okay, so here this method of wiring is universally used in wiring. Lamps and other appliances are connected in parallel so that each of the appliances can be controlled individually, and when a connection is required at a light or switch, the feed conductor is looped in by bringing it directly to the terminal and then carrying it forward again to the next point to be fed. Okay, so whatever conductor we are taking, that will be now called as a feed conductor, and it will be taken to the point where we want to connect it, and from there it will be taken next forward again, okay, to the next point, and from there again it is forwarded to the next point. Okay, so now apart from you can see this two methods of wiring, so we have other methods that we are going to see. So before that, let us just try to understand what are the advantages of loop-in method and what are the disadvantages. Okay, so it doesn't require joint boxes, so that is the main advantage. So money is saved, as we saw earlier that for each of the one load connection we require two joint boxes which are metal connectors, so the cost of that will be higher, or it will be almost equivalent to the switches. Then in loop-in systems, no joint is concealed beneath floor or in roof spaces. Fault location is made easy as the points are made only at outlets so that they are accessible. So here in loop systems, so absolutely there are no joints anywhere on the floor or anywhere on the roof, etc. So directly that exposed conductor area will never come in contact with any of the body part of the house. Then the fault location will be definitely you can say accessible only in that switchboard box, because the connections are available only, or the exposed conductors are available within the switchboard box. So if any fault is if suppose any fault occurs, so we have to just open the switchboard and look for that fault, and it will be very easy to access the entire circuit from the switchboard. Okay, so that is the main advantage of the loop-in system. Now there is a disadvantage. So as looping is to be done, so length of the wire of cables required is more, and voltage drop and copper losses are therefore more. So here looping will require you can say double length of the wire. Okay, so then that of the can say joint box kind of wiring method. So now because the length of the wire increases, so as we have already seen from the first unit that the length will lead into the reduction in the available voltage at receiving end, because there will be voltage drop across the resistance of that entire length of the conductor. So therefore when the resistance is more, the voltage drop across the conductor is more, and obviously the losses in the conductor will also be more. So therefore in this way there will be, you can say, this is one of the major disadvantage of loop-in system. Then the second disadvantage is loop-in switches and lamp holders are usually difficult. So here whatever switches we want to connect the looping, so what will happen, sometimes the provision for connecting the conductor will be smaller. Now when we want to make a connection, means we want to insert two you can standard wires in the same available area for the connection, then it will become little bit difficult to make the connections. But with the skilled person, with the skilled electrician, so that can be done very easily. Okay, so technicians will be expert in making such kind of connections in the difficult positions and conditions, so there is not much issue with that kind of problem. Only the length of the wire required will be larger, so That is the only concern here. But as our lamp loads and other appliances will be self-sufficient, if there is a voltage decrease in the available supply voltage, then also they will be able to run with the utmost efficiency, so not much problem will come with that. So but in case of TV or refrigerator or we can washing machine, so we sometimes need to use the voltage regulator or voltage stabilizer in order to have the required voltage value to the that appliance, delicate appliance. Okay, so now let us go to the slide where we can see the different types of electrical wiring systems. So basically here there are different types of internal wirings, and usually they are you can say classified like this. So cleat wiring, then there is a casing and caping wiring system. So this was used to be wooden casing and caping, but nowadays we have the PVC casing and caping, so let us just call it as a casing and caping wiring. Then there is a CTS or TRS or PVC sheeted wiring. Okay, and then there is a lead sheeted or metal sheeted wiring. Then finally we have the conduit wiring. Okay, so now let us try to see cleat wiring first. Okay, then in the next video lecture we will be discussing about the other types. So now what is cleat wiring? Basically this is a temporary type of wiring. Okay, so it is not a permanent wiring. Sometimes in the older houses we may still find such type of wiring, but nowadays it is nowhere used except for the temporary wiring. So like suppose there is a construction going on for a house, and supply is required for different machineries used in the construction. So during that time obviously electricity is required to carry the wires from the distribution board till that you can say point of appliance. So we have to place the wires temporarily on the walls instead of keeping wires lying on the floor. So they are fixed on the walls with the help of this temporary cleats. Okay, so cleats are nothing but this type of you can say they will be having grooves to carry the conductors here at different locations. This can be placed, and between these the conductors are placed. So they will be the conductors will be you can say held on their places with the help of this cleats. So here you have in this picture you can see that clearly two cleats are used for holding the wires at particular this height. Okay. So now this system of wiring comprises of ordinary VIR or PVC insulated wires. Occasionally sheeted and weatherproof cables can also be used. Braided and compounded, held on walls or ceiling by means of porcelain, cleat, plastic, wood, etc. So cleats can be of porcelain type or wood type, or it is braided and compounded material can also be used for these cleats. Okay, so they are just having like grooves like this for the two core cable for phase and neutral. So two grooves are available here. Sometimes we need to obtain the third for the earth connection, so in that case three grooves are available for carrying three conductors and holding them at a particular place with the help of this screws. Okay, so now what are the advantages of cleat wiring? First of all, it is very simple and cheap wiring system. It is the most basic wiring system, then therefore it is very cheap also. Most suitable for temporary use under construction buildings or army camping, as the cables and wires of cleat wiring system is in open air, therefore fault in cables can be seen and repair is very easy. Then cleat wiring system installation is easy and simple. Then customization can be easily done in this wiring system. Example, alteration and addition can be very easily done with the help of this cleat wiring. Then inspection is easy and very simple, as the entire wiring is open for the viewing. So anybody can just look around and try to find out if there is any kind of fault or any kind of damage that might have happened on the wiring system. Okay, but there are a lot of disadvantages also for the cleat wiring. If it is to be used for you can say permanent kind of wiring, so it is completely not suitable for that. So first disadvantage is obviously the appearance is not so good, so it looks very ugly, untidy if wirings are done with the cleats. So it just looks kind of a messy. The entire rooms and entire area of that wiring will look very messy. Then cleat wiring can't be used for permanent use because sag may occur after some time of the usage. Now sag means usually you might have already seen this in case of the power system. So sag is nothing but when we are using support for holding the conductor at particular places, so there will be usually tension, but with the time, so the tension will be reduced, and there will be, you can say, hanging of the conductor towards the earth or the support area. So now that particular is called as sagging. Okay, so this is called as sag. So now same thing might happen in case of the clay type of wiring, because over a period of time, as the conductor will be carrying current, so the entire conductor will be heated up, and because of the heating it will start getting expanded, and the insulation will also, and outer covering will also lose its mechanical strength. So because of that, so finally the wiring may start hanging from their supporting structure, forming the sags at different places. In this wiring system, the cables and wiring is completely in open air, therefore oil, steam, humidity, smoke, rain, chemical and acid effect may damage the cables and wires. They are completely exposed to any kind of damages that may happen in the environment. Then it is not lasting wire system because of the weather effect, risk of fire and wear and tears. So therefore if something mechanical damage happens, then we need to we can say remove that complete entire wiring. So it is, you can say, you cannot depend on this kind of wiring for a very long period. Okay. Then next disadvantage is it can only be used on 250 to 440 volts on lower temperature. Okay, so when there is a requirement of low currents, in that it is suitable. For high currents, obviously the conductors are going to heat up, and it is totally unsuitable in that case. Then there is always a risk of fire and electric shock, obviously, as it is completely exposed. Then it can't be used in important and sensitive location and places. Then it is not lasting, reliable and sustainable wiring system. So you can see here, as compared to the advantages, the disadvantages are many more, and hence this type of wiring system is not very, can say, suggestible. Okay, so it only if there is no other choice but to take a temporary wiring, in that case this type of wiring should be considered. Otherwise we have to go for different types of wiring systems, which we are going to see in the next video lecture. So till then, I hope you will be staying at home and will not be going outside during the lockdown period, and utilize this time for your preparation of the examination. Okay, so stay home, stay safe and keep learning. Thank you.